Hello and welcome to the end of round 2 of my playthrough of the Graveyard scenario of Conflict of Heroes, Storms of Steel. Actually, this is the end of the game. Normally there would have been one more turn, I believe, but, well, as you can see, there are no Russian units left. They have all been destroyed, and the Germans have won by 6 victory points. They scored 2 additional ones for having still a Molche left on the board. The Russians also destroyed one for which they got 3 points, and they still managed to destroy 2 German tanks, both in close combat. One of them with a card that allowed them to take any action of any cost with a spent or a fresh unit, and in this case it was a spent one. Obviously, since I'm playing solo, I knew that the Russians had that card, but I just, play both sides to the best of my ability, and so I just pretend that I didn't know that, because it was a completely normal action for the Germans to move into that hex, trying to finish off that Russian unit. And, it's not like they couldn't afford the loss. Well, just to turn to the board itself quickly, this is what it looks like. It's full of Soviet wrecks. Game already started out with some. This is the Wrecks and Destruction expansion that I'm using. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, when you have a counter like this one or something in the right place, and it will actually block line of sight, which could be very beneficial or detrimental to either side. Hasn't necessarily happened in this game, but I certainly can imagine it. It also looks nice to have that on the board. Yeah, so yeah, as I said, there are no Russian units left. This German unit is still unspent. It finished off the last remaining Russian unit. These 2 are still fresh as well, even though they can't do that much. The Molche just decided to stay out of harm's way, obviously. No need to endanger itself. There was some combat going on here. This Russian unit did manage to rally, but then it did fail its spent check. So yeah, it couldn't really do much either. Guess I'm going to play another scenario now. Wounded Tiger, or maybe one from Price of Honor, the Polish expansion. Yeah, this one was certainly more enjoyable than the Courier Satchel, which I recorded a few videos of before this one. I see potential for this one, but if one side really starts losing, and especially the Russians, I think then they are in trouble. The T-70s really aren't all that strong. The cost of fire is much higher than for the German units. So, yeah, and I think the Russians could need... Of course, they can go after the trucks, but yeah, even then they'll get to fire once or something, and then they become sitting ducks, maybe, for the Germans. Also, once a Molche gets destroyed, well, this is one on the other side, the Germans actually get an extra Panzer IIIL, and in this case, they certainly didn't need it. So it seems more balanced than the Courier Satchel. It's also more fun, but it does seem to be a pretty hard scenario for the Russians to win. Of course, I haven't played it often enough. I've played it 3 times in total. Maybe I played it in the past, and then I would have to play it more often. But it certainly seems like a difficult scenario for the Russians to win. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you after the next one.